My dear friends, once again, thank you for tuning in to the Macedonian program. This week, I would like to briefly talk about the Macedonian Pan-Hellenism in the Asian expedition. Pan-Hellenism during classical ages was a political ideology supporting the belief that the Greek cities could solve their political, social and economic problems by uniting in common cause and conquering all or part of the mighty Persian Empire. Although the origins of Pan-Hellenism should be found in the 5th century, it was during the 4th century it reached its peak. Beginning with the Olympic oration of Gorgias and a little later with Lysias, it was finally culminated later with Isocrates. In his Panegyrikos, Isocrates argued that Athens and Sparta together should share the hegemony. However, he later hoped that a single leader, such as Philip of Macedon, could first reconcile and then lead the united Greeks in the Great Crusade. In accordance, during the summer of 337, Philip of Macedon summoned delegates from various Greek states to Corinth. He established there a permanent seat, the so-called League of Corinth, an organization which was surely meant both to recall and to be the successor of the Hellenic League of 480. These delegates, after Philip's suggestion, declared war on Persia with Philip himself as supreme commander. Philip's assassination a little later paused for a while Macedonian plans for the Asian expedition, which was destined to be fulfilled by his son Alexander. After the assassination of Philip, his successor to the throne of Macedon, Alexander, managed to fulfill his father's plans. Let's analyze briefly what position had Pan-Hellenism in Alexander's campaign. In the beginning of his expedition, Alexander showed to everybody the Pan-Hellenic character of his campaign. In his letter to Darius in 332 BC, as reported by the historian Arrian, Alexander subtly weaves together Greek and Macedonian grievances. These are his words. I quote him, "Your ancestors invaded Macedonia and the rest of Greece and did us great harm, although you had suffered no prior injury. I have been appointed hegemon, which means leader, of the Greeks and have invaded Asia in a desire to take vengeance on the Persians for the aggression which you began." When he reached the Hellespont, he sacrificed at the tomb of Protesilaos at Elias, who was the first of the Achaeans to be killed during the Trojan War. Right after, in imitation of Protesilaos, he was the first to leap ashore onto Asian soil. As soon as he crossed, he proceeded to Troy, where he sacrificed in the temple of Athena and exchanged his own armor for a set dating from the Trojan War. Those arms were always carried before him in battle. He also crowned the tomb of Achilles and performed other ceremonies there. Xerxes had sacrificed at, and so it was only to be expected that Alexander would do likewise before invading Asia. After the Battle of the Granicus, Alexander sent 300 Persian panoplies to Athens as a dedication to Athena. The inscription attached to the dedication was pointed, "O Alexander, the son of Philip and the Greeks, except the Lacedaemonians, from the barbarians who dwell in Asia." During the Battle of the Granicus, Alexander slaughtered most of the 20,000 Greek mercenaries who fought for the Persians and dispatched some 2,000 of them as prisoners to Macedonia, where they would be subject to hard labor. His justification, as Aaron explains, was because though being Greeks, in violation of the common resolution of the Greeks, they had fought against Greece for barbarians. We shall proceed next week with further words regarding the Macedonian Pan-Hellenism in the ancient expedition. And very briefly, I would like to finish with the words by William A. Ward. With God, no mountain is too high to keep you from climbing it. No obstacle is too awesome to keep you from overcoming it. No goal is too great to keep you from reaching it. No problem is too difficult to keep you from solving it. With God, no adversary is too powerful to keep you from conquering it. No burden is too heavy to keep you from bearing it. No aspiration is too noble to keep you from attaining it. Words of wisdom. Μέχρι την άλλη εβδομάδα, Γιάννη, να είστε καλά.
Ευχαριστούμε, Κωνσταντίνε, να είσαι καλά και εσύ. Και θέλω την άλλη Κυριακή εδώ στο δικό μας μετερίζει.
Αντίο σας και ευχαριστώ.
Γεια σου, Κωνσταντίνε.
Αντίο σας.